We are off.
We are late.
We are not even late. We're off to go to Patagonia to see the penguins, to qualify America for the World Championship. We're gonna take you along for the ride, stick around.
Come along me in London.
Made it to Argentina, have all of our stuff.
I'm leaving.
It's always good to see it after a long flight. So we've got one more late night flight to catch on our way to Comodoro. It's a little windy. Well, we made it here to Patagonia. We're on the beach. As you can see, it is crazy windy. It's what this place is known for. We're definitely not diving today. Hopefully this wind lays down and we can get out here in the next few days. What do you think, Sammy? You ready to go dive?
No. I stay on the beach.
So Javier is telling me that right here where we're standing is actually one of his spearfishing spots. That the tide here comes up so high. It's 6 meters of tide here. And so right here on dry land, Javier could be spearfishing in another 5-6 hours. It's kind of epic. Well, Javier took us on a lovely little sunset stroll there. So if he ever invites you to the beach, do not go. So I'm here now with Team USA and we're competing in the Pan American Championship. Now, I always get asked how you get on Team USA, how this works, who selects you, how does it work? And real quick, it's basically the top 3 in the country after 2 consecutive national championships. So we compete in the nationals. They basically take your scores from 2 years, add them together, top 3 goes to Pan Americans and goes to the World Championships as Team USA. So we're here this year with our main goal of qualifying Team USA for the 2020 World Championship. Now to do that, we've got to be in the top 4 of all the teams that show up. Now we're not exactly sure, that's gonna be maybe 6 teams, 8 teams, not sure who's coming yet, but we've got to be in the top 4 to get to Italy 2020, and that's the primary objective we've got going in here. This year's Team USA is Richie Zacher, myself, and Javi V. We got him, he's a local guy from right here. We're pretty stoked to have him on board. Our captain this year is Francisco Lafredi. We're stoked to grab him over from the Brazilian guys and get him working for us. So basically what they did is they took the whole coastline out here and they divided it up into a couple of zones. They give you the GPS points, they say this is zone 1, this is zone 2, and this is the reserve zone. You've got to hunt in those zones. There's no leaving the zone. That's where you do all your scouting, that's where you do all your competing. Everybody will be together in zone 1 one day, and everybody will be together in zone 2 another day. That reserve zone is there just in case it gets really, really bad out here with the weather. So scouting is a really, really big part of every tournament, but especially right here. All the fish here live back in these little tiny holes, back in these cracks, and essentially don't go anywhere. So every fish that you find there, theoretically should still be there on tournament day. Now, that means one thing, scouting. Go out there every day. The more holes you look in, then the more fish you're gonna find, period. The more dives you do, the more days you spend out there, and scouting is everything for this competition. We've got 5 hours to go out, catch all your fish, and come back. And the 3 main fish we're looking for are the escrofalo, the sapo, and the anguilla. Now, there may be some brothula shad as well, but I haven't seen any. Basically, I've got a 50-foot line. I've got a weight on one side. I'm gonna swim with this in my hand. The other side, I'm gonna have this float. Inside of that float, I'm gonna have this GPS. Whenever I find a fish, I'll put the weight right on the float. I'll come up, I'll make sure it's tight, and then I'll pull up the GPS and I'll put a mark right there. And then next time when I come back, in theory, I hold my weight, I hold my GPS. Once I get right to on top of it, I drop it, then I go down and I search all around there and I find it. And that's how we find fish out here when it's really, really dirty, when you can't see the bottom and you're looking for like a teeny tiny crack. And hopefully in the process, we don't get the GPS too wet, which has worked about 50% of the time in the past. I'll suit it up in my 7mm. I swore I would never put the suit on again, and now it is on. And I'm getting ready to go out there into the cold. Wish me luck. 4:30. We're heading out for our first day of scouting. As you can see, we're on this ridiculous lift here. That's for the 6-meter tides. There's no way you can have a regular boat ramp here. Found my captain. We're ready to go. We're just gonna go out, test the gear, put the suit on, test out some weight, and see if we can't find a few sappos. Just one big sappo today would be awesome. This is zone 2. We're gonna go scout. We're gonna stay close, and it should be an awesome first day in the water. We did it! We made it! We survived. It was not easy. It's fucking cold.
Yes.
The boat is no good. It's fucking cold. So we ran into the Chile women's team the other day, and they had a whole pile of fish there at the dock. So what we're looking for here is basically how big a legal fish is. These fish have to be 500 grams. I'm trying to get a kind of a measurement on what 500 gram fish is. This one's legal, this one's not. So the scoring out here is super interesting. Basically, it's all based on grams. We get 1 point per gram for all of our legal fish, and then you get bonus points. And those bonus points are 500 for each valid fish. So your one Scrofalo that's 500 points, that's 500 grams minimum, is actually worth 1,000 points. Now you also get 500 bonus points for each new species. You also get 1,000 bonus points every time you fill a category. So like if you get your 10 Scrofalo, you're gonna get, that category's filled, and you're gonna get an extra 1,000. So every fish you shoot in this competition is yours. It belongs to you. As soon as you shoot it, it's coming home with you and it's getting weighed. So you've gotta be really, really careful about what you shoot. Now there's a penalty for fish that are not 2/3 of the minimum weight. So like for a Scrofalo, that's like 330. Anything below 330 is gonna be negative 500 points. You really, really, really do not want that to happen. A Scrofalo are like this type of rockfish thing. They look like something straight out of California. There's lots of them out here. They've gotta be 500 grams minimum. They're gonna be easy, in theory, to get your 10, but you're gonna need to make sure they're all 500 grams. If you screw up and you get one that's 490, it's gonna really, really hurt you. So we've been here, we've been looking at fish, we've been trying to figure out what's 500 grams and what's not, and that's a giant part of scouting. Sappo are the other primary fish we're looking for. They're like this oysterfish, toadfish, crazy looking like frogfish thing, lives back way up in these cracks, and they're not easy to find. So every day I might go out, I might find 3, 4, 5, depending on the day. We need 10 of those as well. Now those have to be 1,000 grams. So that's gonna be another tough one, is there's a lot in that 700, 800, 900 grams. And it's really hard to tell what 1,000 gram fish is because all you can see is his head. So we're trying to like figure out head size based on grams, and it's really difficult out here. So the third fish we're looking for out here is the anguilla. Now, they're here. I've heard they're here. I know a couple guys find them. They're like this eel-looking conger thing, lives back in these teeny tiny holes. Supposedly they're really shallow. Now I haven't seen any, and honestly, I'm not even looking. That's kind of like the dream. Get your 10 Scrofalo, get your 10 Sappo, and then go get your eels. Now the eels are the hardest. So you probably, if you have your anguillas, you're gonna go first. I don't have any. I'm not looking for them. Right now, I'm the dream. Get your 10 Scrofalo. Get as many Sappo, legal Sappo as you can, and then be done, probably. I mean, that's probably gonna take me 5 hours. So Pan Americans was right here in Commodore 2 years ago. Like I said, we had the 2017 Pan American Championships. They held it right here. It was crazy. It got really, really bad weather. The wind was nuts. We basically drank wine, had barbecue, played with penguins for like 2 weeks, and honestly thought we'd never be back here in Commodore ever again. And yet 2 years later, they decided to host it right back here again. So for the first time ever, I really knew a lot about what to expect. So the locals always have a really, really serious advantage, but in this one, it's even more. They live here, they compete 4 times as national championships throughout the year in this exact same zone. So they've dove these cracks for years competitively. For these exact same fish. So we've got a pretty serious disadvantage coming in here. Chile, they got here 2 months ago. This is very similar to their local waters nearby on the other coast. So they really came to win. For Chile, spearfishing is like a national sport. They're very into it. It's government funded. They've got a massive group of guys here, and Chile and Argentina, they're the ones to beat. So over these multiple tournaments, we've made really good friends with the local Argentine team. Now, we're not usually rooting for anybody but Team USA to win, but this one's a little different. I don't think we got a chance at first place. There's nobody I'd rather see win than Argentina, and they're gonna have a really tough time against Chile. I think they know it, they feel it, they're out there working hard still, and I know they want this win really badly.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We're making another video right now about the actual competition, the results, and what happened. If you guys have any more questions about how these competitions work, write them in the comments below.
The Hawaiian and Ryan wants me to eat this, but I really think that Ryan should eat it.
I just scraped it off the rock.
I think it's for you.
This is for you.
No, it needs lemon and salt.
I only eat OPE if I'm really drunk, and a Hawaiian hands them to me and like shames me into eating them. That's the only way I eat them. They make me feel like a huge wimp if I do not eat it, but
YouTube wants you to eat it.
YouTube wants me. There's no Hawaiians around here, Sam. There's nobody here.